Now today we're gonna put the old fashioned on easy mode. We're gonna make a batch version of the cocktail that'll stay icy cold all summer long, and it'll come in handy when you wanna entertain some friends or enjoy the drink without turning your kitchen into some kind of craft cocktail bar. This is called the freezer door old fashioned. Now this recipe begins with a full 750 milliliter bottle of whiskey, also known as a fifth. I'm using bourbon today, but of course you could use any style of whiskey that you want. The only thing that matters is making sure that you pick a whiskey that is at least 90 proof or 45% ABV or higher. And there's a really important reason for that, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. Now, the very first step is going to be removing some of the whiskey from this bottle, because we're actually going to be making the freezer door old fashioned in this bottle. So in order to make the room, we're going to start by dumping out 7 ounces of the whiskey. And I've got a measuring cup here, and 7 ounces sits around 200 milliliters, or just between 3/4 of a cup and a cup. So that is just enough room for the other ingredients there. And we'll go ahead and add our sugar, which I'm using a Demerara syrup. So this is a 2-to-1 ratio. So 2 parts sugar to 1 part water. And the Demerara is it's like an unrefined sugar. So there's a lot of like this caramel and molasses flavor and kind of like an earthy smokiness that comes from it as well. We're also gonna need a funnel. So we're gonna go ahead and add in 2 1/4 ounces of our syrup. And I put a lot of thought into getting the right ratios of everything, just to make sure that this came out nice and balanced. So that's 2 1/4. And there we go. Once that's in, we'll go ahead and add bitters, since that's the other ingredient in an old fashioned. And I'm using Angostura today, and this recipe calls for about 36 dashes, but I like to just take the top off my Angostura bottle. Bitters tends to bloom out in batch cocktails, so I cut it back a little bit. So for this one, we're gonna be adding 3/4 of an ounce right to the bottle. And don't forget to put the lid back on, or you're gonna hate yourself the next time you go to dash with your bitters. Now the last ingredient is extremely important, because freezer door old fashions are meant to be just poured straight from the bottle, like over ice. You're never gonna be stirring it or mixing it or diluting it. So in order to get the proper dilution, we're gonna have to add some water. I'm using a filtered water. You don't have to, but I do think that it lends to a better drink. So for this recipe, we're gonna be using 3.5 ounces of water. And with that, we have a perfectly diluted freezer door old fashioned. And because we use the higher proof bourbon, we actually have a solution that sits around 34.5% ABV, and that makes it safe to put in the freezer and keep in the freezer without it turning into a slushy mess. Because believe it or not, a lot of the recipes out there, they're actually a little too diluted, and you can chill them in the freezer, but you gotta keep them cold in the fridge, otherwise you get a big icy disaster. Anyway, now that we capped it, the only thing left to do is just give it a little mix here, just to incorporate everything, and then we'll just put that right into the freezer. And if you've done it correctly, like me, you can pull it out some hours later and it'll look like this, completely iced over, but totally liquid here. Anyway, I think we should just test this out. So get everything out of the way. And got an ice cube here that's ready to go. So we'll put a nice piece of clear ice in there. And this is literally the fastest old fashioned you'll ever make. We'll just pour that over that ice. Oh, yeah. You can go as big or small as you want. And I guess if you want, you can do an orange peel. And we'll just give it a little zest. Around the rim, pop it in. And that is the freezer door old fashioned. Oh yeah. I mean, it's an old fashioned and it tastes great and it's ice cold. And all I had to do was pour it right in, ready to go. If you've got a recipe that you like for a freezer door old fashioned, Don't forget to let me know what that is down in the comments below. I'd love to take a look at those. Or if you have any other thoughts, that'd be great too. I hope you give this a shot and enjoy it all summer long or all year long. Anyway, I guess that's it. So we are on to the next drink. Cheers.